Hi everybody, it's Kim Wilson here again, and this is the last class of the day, and this is the optional Christmas class add-on. I have a little bit of battery left on my phone, so we'll get the next couple of projects done. Now, some people ordered the kit for this class, and if you did, it's ready to pick up, of course. And also, even if you didn't order the kit, I can still, the handouts are available for everybody in the group, and you can probably figure out how to do it from the handout and the supplies you have on hand, which is always good. I will be using the Wrapped in Christmas stamp set a lot this fall. I just think it's a beautiful set with a lot of different sentiments in different shapes and sizes. So I think it's just going to work really well with a lot of variety of projects and a very versatile set. So the first card I'm going to do today is this Peace on Earth card, and it's really shiny, and I'm really featuring a lot of embossing folders this time. So this card actually has two folders, and we've got the Evergreen Forest three-dimensional folder, and also the which gives that the beautiful trees on the back of that copper foil, and then we've got the Tasteful Textile 3D folder, and that's what I use to give a little dimension to my moose here. And I just wanted to mention the new machine is out and available. So there's mine, very portable and easy to carry around. But I wanted to show you with the folders, it comes with all the pieces that you need. So for the three-dimensional folders, what you're going to be using is the platform, and it even shows right here. You platform, then you put your I guess the 3D is this one. So platform, then your folder with the paper in it, and then number 4 on top. So both of these newer folders, that's the sandwich you use, just very simple. The platform, folder, and paper, and number 4. Now if you have some of the older 3D folders, this number 4 is going to be too thick, so you're going to need to just substitute a number 3 for it. So that'll be your folder. If you have, I can tell because it will say Sizzix on the top right here instead of just Stampin' Up. It'll also say Sizzix there. Okay, so there's a little tip on how to use your folders. But for this one, we've got, let me gather my pieces here. I just used an old olive card front. You could also use Mossy Meadow too. It goes, actually matches really nicely with the brightly gleaming paper that I used at the bottom here. Let's see, I'm grabbing all my pieces here because I don't have them all in little kits, but I had fun running those through the copper foil through. It's just so pretty. Okay, I'm going to add some glue to the back of that. Put that on the top. Just a 4x4 piece, and that's a nice way to get the most out of your foil paper because it is a little more expensive. So I'm using a 4x4 piece of that, and then we'll just add a piece of the brightly gleaming, and it has copper accents, so it's going to pull in the copper from that foil. And then I punched out, oh, there's my moose punch. So I didn't get to use him last year, and I was so disappointed because they sold out early. So they put him in this year's catalog. So he's now is available again, and the stamp set that's matching as well. So I've been having fun with the moose. Okay, and I punched it, then I ran it through the folder, and then I'm just gonna add a dimensional to the back here and put him on. I'm kind of covering up the seam. Usually I like to put a little strip of paper or a bit of ribbon when I have a seam like this. I think it finishes it off a little better, but this time I'm just gonna use my stamped piece and the moose to kind of finish off that seam. All right, so let me grab my stamp out of here. This is a cling stamp set, so it's a little different than the photopolymers that I was using earlier. So we've got Peace on Earth here, and let's see, I've got my Mossy Meadow pad here, which is getting a little dry, so I'm gonna try to tap it and get as much ink as I can on it, and we'll stamp that like so, Peace on Earth, and then just add that to the card. So not a very complicated card to make, so you can make multiples of these, but it's so impressive with all the copper just in the dry embossing. Makes it really cool and special. Now I believe I put a panel inside so you could decorate the inside of your panel however you please. Oh, snowflakes, I forgot. We let's see, here they are. Adhesive backed snowflakes are really fun and cool. So I gave everybody a couple little bits of these. They come in both the kind of iridescent and also white ones. So I'll just stick a couple on here real quick to show you. I like to use my take your pick tool, this end of it, to grab one went flying. Whenever I have sequins or anything adhesive backed, it's just very easy to pick them up and stick them down. So we'll just grab a couple of sequins, snowflakes, and stick them on there just to add a little something extra. So you should have, I think I gave everybody 10 in their kits, so you should have enough to put on a few on this card and keep some for another project. But these I thought were a good value for the money because you get 260 little snowflakes. And the other thing I really like about them is they're very flat, so you don't have to worry about mailing those. They're really easy to mail. The latest mini catalog. Okay, I'm going to go right into the next project. Oh, first I had an extra card I wanted to show. If I can find it here. Yes. Here's one more. Okay, this is the same sort of thing. I used the evergreen embossing folder, but I used all 3 colors of the brushed metallic paper. Again, I added some brightly gleaming paper to the bottom. This time I put a little ribbon across the seam there between the papers, an extra matte, so it made it a little bit different. So there we have a couple of cards for Christmas. Nice and shiny. All right, the next project for Christmas, also I used the Wrapped in Christmas stamp set again, and this time I made a little Notepad Folio with a matching pen. Let's see, there it is. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And it's again really easy. This I did a Velcro closure. The one I saw and the one I kind of copied the dimensions from, she had a ribbon closure, but I want to use my notepad for my Christmas list this year, and so I didn't want to have to tie and untie ribbon every time I wanted to use it. So there's my notepad and just an easy Velcro flap across. Okay, so we'll show you how to do that. Really easy. Let's see, everything should be scored in your kit. If you can't see the score lines, try turning back and front so you can see where the score lines are. But this paper is really thin, so it should be pretty easy to fold on the score lines. And there's 4 score lines. You're kind of just making a little bit of a gap there so you can fit in the notepad. And so you've got a thin flap there, and then this will be the front. Okay, the first step is, if you want to, and you don't need to do this, is to round the corners. We don't have a corner rounder in the catalog, but we do. It's the trio punch, and so one of the pieces on the trio is corner rounder. So we're just going to put that in there nice and flat, and it's important to get it exactly in the corner and then press down on the center so we get a nice corner. So I'm going to go ahead and round all my corners. And I did round the corners on the little copper flap that I included. See, that one's a little crooked, so I'm going to have to get it in there and center it a little better. There we go. Okay. Okay, now I've got my corners rounded with the trio punch. And I gave everybody a little cardstock. It might be a different color depending on whatever goes with your designer paper. This is the brightly gleaming paper, again, the same that we used on the previous card. And it was a specialty paper from last year that carried over to this year. And this I'm just going to put here just to give it a little bit of extra strength for the notepad, because this paper is really kind of thin, and I think that'll just give it a little bit, make it a little bit more sturdy. So put that in there so that it fills in that space, that back space there. Okay, I need to move it a little bit that direction. Okay, perfect. All right, now we're going to add the notepad. And I should say where I got everything from, so you know, notepad is, comes in a set of 5, and they're at the Dollar Tree. So you just have to separate them into the individual pads. And you might want to use tear and tape for adhering this. It'll stick a lot better, but since I didn't get mine out, we'll keep going with the liquid glue there for now. All right, so my notepad is in there and ready to go. Now I need to work on my flap. We've got the copper. Again, I ran that through the textile embossing folder. I think it just gives it a really cool look. I've got a little circle there, and then this little kind of fun piece that layers really nicely. And let's see, checking out my handout here, did I say where that comes from? I did not put that on my supply list, did I? Well, anyhow, it's there's a die set that goes, there's another stamp set similar to Wrapped in Christmas, and it has a matching die set that goes around the cups in the catalog, and that's where this little piece is from. So let me get it stamped, and there's a couple of round sentiments here. May days be merry and surround yourself in the love of the season. So I thought that one was really quite nice, so we'll use that one. And I happen to have Mossy Meadow here again. I should have gotten my peacock color, but I don't think I put Pretty Peacock in my folder here, so we'll just go with this one. It's a little harder to stamp when it's usually I stamp and then punch, but this worked out fine. So surround yourself in the love of the season, and that's going to go on one end of this flap like this, and then the other end of the flap is going to go on here, and you can see that you only want to put glue just on this last little bit there, and I have a picture on the handout so you can see, because you don't want to, of course, you want to be able to open your notepad. So we'll put some glue there, and then my Velcro closure is going to go there. And the Velcro, I got this from Walmart, and it's called Thin Clear Fasteners, general purpose low profile. And so they have a sample for, it's very appropriate for mailing because it's very, very thin. And so I'm not sure if they still have those at Walmart. You probably get them online as well. But you get quite a few of them in a package. I know we've used them before on projects. Let's see, I need my little scissors. Here we go. So you're just going to cut one piece of each side. So you've got the loops and the, I forget what they call them. You have the fuzzy piece and the loopy piece. And I like to put them together. And then I peel off one side, and I don't think it matters which one goes where, but I peel off one side and put it on my little flap there, and then I can peel off the other side and put it where I want it to go on my notepad, and then hopefully it will open again very easily. So there's my notepad all ready for my Christmas list. I know I said before my favorite season is fall, but one part of fall that's really fun is getting ready for Christmas. So my notepad is ready. Now I want to do my matching pen. Okay, for pens, I love these RSVP pens by Pentel. And you can often get these on sale this time of year at the office stores. And they write nicely, and the nice thing about this for crafters is that you can decorate them. So if you unscrew this thing right at the top, you can take it apart and you can decorate in here. I've seen people put beads inside or all sorts of little things. And the little strip of paper we're going to put in is let's see, 3 1/4 by 7/8 inch, and that'll just cover the barrel so that you have a matching piece to your matching pen to your notepad. And I like to, before I do this, kind of rough it up so that you're with my bone folder, so you're breaking the texture, the fibers in the paper. Roll it, it's going to roll a little nicer and not give you any rough folds, and it's just going to be a little easier. This part's a little tricky. You might have to try a few times because you want to get it nice and narrow. So I'm going to kind of roll it around the pen here like so, and then we'll get it stuck in there like so. And usually you have to poke it a little bit to get it down all the way. So since I take your pick tool, it's sitting right here, I'll give that a little poke, get that in there, and I can put my little cap back on, and there is my matching pen and notepad for Christmas. I hope you enjoyed this Christmas project. Let me know if you did, and I'll try to do an extra Christmas project in October and November as well. So happy